now I'm on to DC Showcase, Superman Shazam, The Return of Black Adam. It's actually 4 short films. That's just the first one, okay?
Got nothing to say now?
The other 3 are simply called The Spectre, Green Arrow, and Jonah Hex.
I could shoot 6 bottles off a fence and not miss a one.
Who gives a damn?
Here's the plot of each one really quick. The Superman Shazam one is the longest one. Clark Kent just happens to be interviewing Billy Batson before he becomes Shazam.
Is this all for me, Mr. Kent?
Since you ate 2 breakfasts yesterday, I thought I'd better order you 3 today.
But then Black Adam attacks, and Black Adam already knows that Billy Batson is meant to become Shazam for some reason. But while he's attacking him, Billy's then pulled to the Shazam wizard, who then gives him his powers.
There. It is done.
So now he can fight back against Black Adam. Then the whole rest of the episode is basically him and Superman trying to fight Black Adam.
I did not spend 5,000 years traveling across the infinite void of space to be thwarted by some man-child.
Will a Superman do then?
The other 3 films are fairly short. Probably about 10 to 15 minutes each, like maybe even shorter than that.
Like this, forever.
You're good, kid. Your daddy should have let you star in his movies.
And then The Spectre. The Spectre is really good. It's done like it's a 70s movie, like even with how the film's done, or how the animation looks like old film from that era. Some of it is even like whitewashed, as if it's been in the sun or something. Overexposed for being out too long.
Your father's death was an inside job. It wasn't just a lucky guess when the killers punched in the security code. You gave it to him.
That one's about a cop who's investigating a crime, but it turns out he's actually a superhero who has these ghost powers and just murders criminals once they've murdered other people, because the spirit can speak to those ghosts and then uses them to torture them before they die. It has a lot of horror tropes. It's like a horror noir film mixed together, but it's only 15 minutes long, so it goes through all the motions like really fast, but it doesn't tell a complete story. That's my biggest complaint about it, is that it feels like it starts somewhere in the middle and it ends somewhere in the middle. It does kind of have an ending, but it feels like there could be more to be said. But unfortunately, this is it.
Peter McCoy.
What the hell?
Only a guilty man flees Peter McCoy.
Green Arrow has almost no story at all. Green Arrow gets in a traffic jam, but then like there's a crime nearby.
Sorry I'm late.
But you tried changing clothes in a hybrid.
That's just non-stop action for a while. He's saving the princess.
Green Arrow, Justice League of America. I'm here to help.
And then a bunch of supervillains shows up, and then Black Canary shows up to save him, and they propose to Black Canary.
Say yes. After all, every queen needs a consort.
She's right. Every queen does.
That one I feel like was really disjointed. It felt like it might have been an action sequence they animated or something, and then they decided to put a story around it, because like him being in the traffic jam and him proposing to Black Canary at the end of it was pretty much all the story in it, and everything else was the action sequence in the middle, which had no story.
That dragon almost got us.
You do realize I'm 10 and do not require fairy tale metaphors?
And the last one was Jonah Hex, which is probably the best one of the 4.
Only gonna ask this once. Where's Red?
It was basically an entire cowboy movie in 10 minutes. And it's kind of impressive for that, but it's also really good.
Uh-huh. Put a drink on the bar and go away.
I've seen him.
Talk.
It has like kind of a how catch a mystery. A lot of cowboy movies have that motif where you see some really bad people and it's like, how are they gonna get them once this unknown stranger comes into town, except it's Jonah Hex. But that one was really good.
You wouldn't hit a lady.
You ain't no lady.
It's worth watching, even though if you've seen any cowboy movie, you've basically seen this movie.
Seen him?
Can't say that I have.
You sure?
That's like a minor ranking within this ranking. I'll talk about them in the order that I like them. So, at number 4, Green Arrow.
Well, folks, we've got a massive jam heading into and out of Star City International. Blame it on all the added security put in place for the royal arrival.
Which, as I said, it really was like the most disjointed of them. It felt like they just tacked story bits on the beginning and end, and there's just all the action in the middle. The action was pretty cool, but action without anything behind it is like nothing. You know, I mean, it's cool to watch and stuff, but, like, if there's no stakes, then there's nothing for the audience to, like, gain or retain or anything.
Kill you! Kill you! Kill you! Me? Weren't you after the kid?
Excuse me?
Kidding, you're kidding us? Kidding!
Like, action scenes should always have something behind them, or there's no reason for them, you know?
A special effect without a story is a pretty boring thing.
Anyway, at number 3 is actually Superman Shazam, even though it was the longest and had a decent storyline and everything. And the action in that one had a story behind it, so it was a lot better than in Green Arrow. But it just felt a bit too much like a Saturday morning cartoon to me. It felt like a pilot episode that they probably couldn't get off the ground, so they decided just to release it by itself. Just that it wasn't meant to be a standalone thing. And it's also fairly generic for, like, superhero stuff.
It changes you, does it not? The power.
It only changes that I can choose my own fate now.
It was fine, just not as much fun as the other 2 things on the list. As number 2 is the Spectre.
Get away from me!
As you wish, but you will never escape your fate.
Which was my favorite the first time I watched this. And this one was good. Like I said already, it felt like it was in the middle of something. It didn't tell a complete story. It felt like there was stuff we missed at the beginning, and also there was more to say at the end of it. But it was good for what it was, and that's just a cool horror-themed noir film and done in 10 minutes. I wish it was longer. I would have watched a full-length movie of this, and it just leaves me wanting more, and there is no more. It's all the Spectre that's on screen right now, anyway. Maybe that'll change in the future.
When that happens, I'm here to avenge. That's my secret. I am the Spectre.
And finally, the Jonah Hex thing, which was definitely my number 1 this time. Like I said, it was like a cowboy movie done in 10 minutes, which I think itself is a feat, but it's also just so good and so stylized in that Western style.
I know who you are. You're that Jonah Hex.
Congratulations.
So yeah, that's it. It was fun stuff, but none of it's like going to go down the history of movies or anything like that. I enjoyed them all, even the Green Arrow one, but there's better stuff out there that's longer. Even though this was short, I wouldn't call it worthy of your time. Okay, I guess that's what my final thoughts were, and I'll see you next time.
Ping, ping, ping.
You can't leave me here alone!
You ain't alone, you got plenty of company. You know everything.